back with our JA volunteers, Randy and Troy, and today is session 2, and we've learned all about spending. So what is something that you've recently spent money on, and how did you pay for it? Was it cash, debit card, credit card, electronic payment? You tell us.
Okay, yep. So I don't like debt. So I typically will save up for purchases and pay cash. That doesn't mean that I don't buy what I want. It just means that I have to plan for it a little bit in advance. And so recently, I wanted to get a new iPhone. The one that I had was older, it wouldn't stay charged, and it just generally needed to be upgraded. So I knew that this was going to happen, a year or so ago, because phones don't last forever. So I took some money out of my paycheck each month, and I kind of stuck it aside so that I would have the money that I needed for that new phone. So after I had saved up the right amount of money, I walked into the Apple store, picked out my phone, and paid cash for it, activated it, and walked out. So
awesome.
I felt really good about that because I didn't have to use a credit card, I didn't have to pay interest on it, and it's mine. So
awesome.
And for me, it was all about working from home, right? That was been new for a lot of us, I think, either schooling from home or working from home. And so it was, how do we get the things that we need to be able to be successful and productive in a new environment? And so I had to go off and buy new monitors and a new computer and a desk and chairs and all of those things. And I used a credit card because I was buying a lot of it online. So you have to have a credit card in many cases to be able to buy something online. You can't put the cash into the computer to make that work. So it's a great way to make a purchase online. And one of the benefits of using a credit card is there's some protection that the credit card gives you, that if they don't deliver what they're supposed to deliver, if it doesn't work, that you can get your money back. And so that's one of the conveniences and one of the benefits of the credit card.
That's right. So why did you choose that form of payment? And you kind of talked about it, Troy, but what are the advantages and disadvantages of that payment choice that you made?
I think that from a cash perspective, it's always cleaner and easier if you have the ability to pay cash. I say one of the disadvantages to cash and one of the advantages to a credit card are that if it's used responsibly, you can actually earn points or incentives with a credit card. So I do have a credit card, and if I use it, it pays me cash back. So for every purchase that I make, it gives me a percentage of that purchase back in cash. The trick is the responsibility part and making sure that that balance is paid off and that you don't run an open balance that they would be able to charge interest on. So that's probably a whole other lesson, but cash is always good if you have the ability to pay for it.
Right. Way. A lot of people think that credit cards is just free money, and that's not the case.
That is not the case.
That's right. Yeah, as I think about the disadvantages, I think that not having to pay for it right now makes me buy more. Right. So there's that idea of the free money or I don't have to pay for it now, I can pay for it later. May make me spend more than if I had to take that cash out of my pocket right on the spot and pay for it. I certainly think harder about those types of decisions than I do if I'm using a credit card.
And I think the credit card lends itself to more impulse buying because you're like, oh, I don't have it right now, but I'll just charge it and I can pay for it when the bill comes in. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't pay for it when the bill comes in. So those impulses are not as hard or not as easy to run with if you're like, oh, I'm going to actually pay cash for that.
Yeah.
And you have to save up for it.
Yeah. And you just eventually, if you keep using a credit card, imagine yourself digging a hole and you just dig deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's harder to get out of.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell my daughter, whenever she talked about getting a credit card, I told her, I said, just remember every time that they run that plastic, it takes a couple of seconds to run the charge, but it can take you years to get out of that situation. So just be very careful.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for teaching us again this week. We'll be back for our next video, session 3, which is all about entrepreneurs. Okay, guys, we'll talk to you then. Bye.